Hey everybody, so we're going to go over these R10 Rippa units. So we see a lot of you guys like the Rippa brand. We carried Rippa under GroundHog for a while. On their blue iron, it has to be under Rippa. We wanted to be at least in their midline stuff if we were going to run Rippa stuff. So, and everybody knows the joke of Rippa. Yes, rip off, it's right in the name. I get all that. If you don't want a Rippa, you want a GroundHog, you can go that route. The idea is kind of to be a one-stop shop. We want to have as much inventory as we can, as much information as we can, and try to have it that you can see a Rippa, you can see a GroundHog, you can feel the difference. So these ones should be done. This is the last of a full load, so we have all the sides lined up. We have our used equipment over there and over there. We have our wash bay at the back. We have our service on the far back. So this is, they're finishing the assembly. These units have 2-speed. They have dual auxiliary. They have mechanical quick attach. They have side swing. They're a very loaded unit for $5,900. It's a buy. I mean, I can't beat the price. I really can't. If you're looking for one that has all that stuff, we have currently 24 once these are done. And this is my first load with them just to see, you know, what you guys think of them. Honestly, for the money, I think they're actually pretty well done. There was a few things I critiqued on them, but for the money, you can't beat it. Side swing, expandable track, 2-speed, dual auxiliary, mechanical pilot. A mechanical pilot's probably the only thing I don't like on them. If you got a mechanical pilot unit, we did this on our last video, but I'll show you one more time. Mechanical pilot, it comes into the valve right here, and it just moves a mechanical base plate, and then the plunger goes up and down inside that valve body. So you actually have a valve body on this side, and you have a valve body on this side. Compared to a true hydraulic unit, like all of our GroundHogs, if it's a pilot unit, it is a true hydraulic pilot. So there will be 6 hydraulic lines that come up, and there's a little pin, and all you're doing is you're rotating that pin to operate that flow, and they're a lot smoother. Like you can operate a hydraulic one with your fingertip, where this one you can feel that mechanical movement. And what people do is they will pull aggressively, thinking that that's going to make them go faster, dig harder, and the seals inside will leak eventually if you pull too hard because you're constantly pulling that thing apart. Other than that, they're pretty well done. The blade, the 2-speed, those of you that want a drive motor that has, everybody gets confused on why is like this. They don't want to have the drive sticking out the back, so they want it covered. If you want it covered, you want 2-speed. True 2-speed, not transit 2-speed, true 2-speed. Transit 2-speed is, if it's got a micro switch, this will flip up if you've got pilot controls, and then all the hydraulic flow goes from the rest of the machine to your drive motors. The nice part with transit 2-speed is, you know that machine's not going to get beat because you have to re-engage your hydraulics in order to operate the boom and the drive. So you don't want to take a machine and have it in 2-speed and do all your push-in and heavy work. You want to use that for travel, light grading, and so forth. We'll go out here in the lot. We're going to pause here for a second. We're going to start back out in the lot. We'll show you the assembled ones and give you kind of a walk around of them. So we'll see you here in a minute. All right, so final product. We have the Rippa R10s. So just showing you the final product again, just to show you how they are done, how well they're done, what we like, what we don't like, and so on and so forth. Again, actually, they're not hateful units. They come in right at 2,100 pounds. They do not have a rear counterweight, and you guys know my pet peeve with that. So that's about probably one of the joystick and the counterweight is probably one of my biggest 2 pet peeves. They do very well. They run all the way to the finish line and just kind of fall on their face. But for $5,900, it is a heck of a unit for $5,900. They do a kind of a weird overflow for the hydraulic fluid. I'm assuming That's for all the complaints of people that have put their fluid up too high and then it comes out the vent. So now they vent through the tank and have an overflow for the hydraulic fluid in the tank. They are running a little single stack, which single stack pump, when it's not true hydraulic joystick, is okay. I know everybody has that big question, does it have dual pump? If you're not running true hydraulic joystick, so where the joystick is actually has the lines that come up and it's got its own pilot valve, that's usually what you're separating off that second stack. Sometimes it's drive, sometimes it's valve, but normally if it's a double stack, it is your valve, your main valve, and then your pilot valve. So again, there's no pilot valve other than the valves themselves, which are fed off of the main valve. So it runs effectively. It's just not a GroundHog, which again, I know there's units out there that are very similar. I don't need all the hate. We're just trying to get as much information as possible and honestly cut some of the BS out. I guess I can't say any bad words or they have to do an MA video. So I'm gonna try to keep out of bad words, but the bullcrap in the industry and some of mine, I try to not be a salesman. I just try to do information. If I acted like some of these guys, I think GroundHog would probably be the only name out there, but I don't push and push and push and say, oh, this is the baddest mother on the planet. They are what they are. You can go to a Bobcat, you can go to a Cat. They're good units. They have their own problems, but again, if you don't know how to turn a wrench, you need that support, absolutely you have to go that route. So a Ripa R10 is their midline stuff. I honestly don't know what their top line stuff is. I just go off what they tell me. They're telling me it's a 1-year parts, 2-year powertrain. Again, I don't know what that all fully means. I'm just telling you what they're telling me because I don't, on my GroundHog stuff, if someone comes here and they pay retail, you're coming to me to support you. Have I had parts that I've waited on? Absolutely I have. Have I had problems getting parts in the past? There's nobody in any industry that hasn't. But if I really need to, and I hate doing this, but if I need to pull one off of another unit to have someone up and running, I will do it. And I only hate doing it because I hate having a part that's not brand spanking new given to somebody. Or having the possibility of somebody possibly having a mistake in taking that part off. So, do I like doing it? No. But I don't like doing it only because I want to feel like I've given you the best I can give you. With Ripa, I don't know what their cutouts are going to be. I don't know how they're going to operate. I know what they tell me, which is what I'm going to tell you. And again, if any salesman tells you otherwise, unless they've looked you in the eye and told you they will personally take care of everything, they don't know either. Because of how the processes work in heavy equipment. So depending on the brand, some brands, like as far as I know, especially Kubota, they want to see the service records being done at Kubota at the intervals or warranty void. Also what Kubota has done is they separated most places according to what we've gone through in the last 5 years. There is Kubota engine and then Kubota sales. So Kubota engine is what warranties their engine. So if an engine blows, you have to go to Kubota engine to warranty that engine. The first 5 cutouts are things that you can't prove or possibly can't prove. Were the services done? Did you warm it up long enough? Did you have the correct oil in it at break-in or up to the break-in point? Did you over-throttle it and then just everything down to antifreeze? Like, they have so many cutouts to tell you no. So if a company themselves won't stand behind it and that's the cutout they're using, that 3-year warranty means jack, in my opinion. We've had this happen 2 times. Both times our plant or ourselves have taken that responsibility on, or with help of the plant. Both times Kubota has done nothing. One time we had rings that were way out of tolerance. So it had a bunch of blow-by, oil coming out the exhaust. And after a long, painstaking couple months, the only thing they warranted was the rings. Well, you can buy the rings for like $200. So it was kind of pointless. I probably won't ever do it again. So Ripa R10 Eco, again, I'm sorry for being scatterbrained. There's a lot of information, and I know some of these are kind of mundane because I just keep talking and talking, but it's just so much information. And until you know it, you don't know you don't know. I get people all the time saying, I'm not gonna buy a GroundHog, I'll save 8 grand or 9 grand. And then a couple weeks later, they're asking us for parts or asking us for help or how do you, which I'm fine with, except for, I don't do parts anymore. It's not out of ignorance. It is, I had 2 folks, we tried to get them the parts. They both had AGTs, and the parts that we ordered, according to what they had sent to us, were different sizes. One was a line fitting into a valve body, and they just, first of all, wanted their money back, which I get, but we didn't sell the product. We were trying to help, got it in according to what they told us. Anyway, led to bad reviews, led to negative people. Unless we had that part physically in our hand, and then the air shipping is so expensive. Like, we spend tens of thousands on air shipping in a year, and there's a lot of companies, they want to throw it in the next container. Throw it in the next container. Well, now you're waiting 6 months for your machine, or 6 weeks to get your machine, or whatever it is for the hold. Right now, the tariffs are getting put back in. So like this machine here, feasibly would only be able to happen at 12 or 13,000 here shortly. So very, very, very economical unit, 2-speed drives. They even put these nifty little I can't fly out the front gauges in, which I guess will be make a sore forehead. But those of you that, you know, don't put your blade down and you end up bouncing over your joysticks, now you at least hit your face off the cage, which is great because let's be real, it's never fun to go out over the front. We didn't finish hooking the lights up because they're magnetic, so when you travel, we just take them off and then we'll wrap them up. So those are just sitting there to be plugged in or not if you don't want to. They are pretty decent units. Like I said, I don't really have a big problem with them other than that mechanical joystick. The blades are fairly well done. They don't have the big extra side protection and curl protection. They did at least do some curl protection with a gusset on the back. And then here's what I was talking about, that dual auxiliary. So they plumb the valve into your diverter, and then they still leave your diverter, and then they have the dual auxiliary. So those of you that want to run a dual function, it's already done. And that option alone, depending on plant, depending on everything. So when I give you prices, again, everybody can go to their other brands and their other this and that, or what their guy at China told them. But this is typically around an $800-900 option. So to be at $5,900, and I don't know how I have to pay that, but somehow their machine gets all this, because side swing is a couple $100, and expandable track, depending on the unit, is let's call it $600 to $1,200, and then 2-speed, true 2-speed, which to what I can see, these are true 2-speed. They're not transit. Obviously not transit because they don't just have the drive sticking out. They have gear oil in them. Is another, let's call it $800 to $1,000. So it's got a lot of equity into it for the build. I can't get them built for that. At least what they priced me at, I can't. But of course, it's their product. It's their stuff. They want to sell it. They want to promote it. Very few things that I think are okay. But again, for $5,900, I think it's a buy. We're also testing out a little bit here with Lee. You guys know Lee. He runs one of the Chinese forums. So the Hawaii units, we're kind of just putting our toes in the water a little bit. I don't want to get into ups or downs with that. I just, again, I'm trying to make it that if you're looking at this industry and you're like, I want a cheap excavator, but I want to see what is what. You have Rippa, you have Hawaii, you have GroundHog. Turn around here and you'll see GroundHog everywhere. So you have GroundHog, and thousands of you out there have our GroundHogs. So it's a product now that's been around for 5 years. My face is behind it, and I try to do the best I can. Again, I will absolutely have people at times wait on a part longer than they should. Not going to deny that at all. But that's in any industry. I've had Bobcat parts and Takeuchi parts and so on and so forth that I either wait to get in the shop or I wait to get the parts. We do the best we can. I'm never going to be the salesman that's so pushy and says, I guarantee you'll have your parts in 7 days. I can't make that guarantee. I don't control it. I do the best I can to continue to hound the plant, but it's not something that we have full control and can just go grab every single part other than having the machines here. So if you're looking for a GroundHog, then again, I got 7 loads out ahead of these tariffs, and then we're gonna pause again because it doesn't make sense. You can't take a $30,000 machine and make it a $60,000 machine just because of tariff. No one wants it. And I surely don't want to lose a bunch of money. There's probably 2 loads in this lot that have already hit that. I've lost a bunch of money when the tariffs got hit. I don't put my prices up just because of how the market acts. We also have some of these AGTs. We buy them just at sales. The reason we buy them is so, again, you can come and you can shop, you can see them, and you can say, hey, that's good enough for me for $39.95. I'll take that one home. CFG, same thing. And again, we can look at these units and start to look over them and see the differences. So some of you don't care, some of you do care, but where there's no cylinder protectors or no greasable pins, smaller diameter, banjo fittings. I personally hate banjo fittings. If you don't know what a banjo fitting is, come here, Diane, let me show them this. So this goes in to your cylinder, and then they have a little orifice in there, and then the fluid comes through, and then this is hollow, and it feeds in through there. Well, problem is, anytime these get hit, the cylinder typically gets stripped out, and then you got to find a banjo fitting that actually fits in there, or you got to cut the end off and repair it to a normal screw-in DIN, or, you know, JIC, but, you know, that is one of my bigger pet peeves. Again, counterweight, there's no counterweight, mechanical, so on and so forth. We went over that. And then where there is potential to hit something, we try to have a cylinder protector on, you know, stuff like that. If there's no potential to hit something, you know, it depends on the unit. Each unit's different, each model's different, but, and that's why we, like I said, there's units I have that are like that, but then I'll show you, okay, this has a banjo on. Very few anymore, and mostly if the plant screwed up and didn't listen. So, and the second part to that is if someone does get one that has a banjo and they do hit that, I probably have 80 blades or blade cylinders in stock that it's not going to be a big deal. So we got AGT, GroundHog, Rippa. If Lee allows us, I don't know how that's going to pan out yet. We'll have some Hawaii here, and we'll see how that works. Now again, I'm told that they're running a 1 and 3 on them. I still don't understand their warranty process. 3-year available at extra price, but then 3-year powertrain included, but no abuse, misuse claims through the service. Like I said, I don't know exactly how that all works. And if you look at the Hawaii website, it says the same thing. It says 3-year warranty, but how? I mean, if you're not buying from a dealer and someone that's physically on site, and you're buying off the website and pushing buy it now, how are they warrantying? Unless it's just parts, and then how are they determining what parts you need, or who's determining that, and so on and so forth. Compared to a GroundHog, if you buy my GroundHog and it broke and you bring it back to me, I don't charge you anything if it's under warranty. No labor, no nothing. So, no, my warranty's not 3 years, but I also know how my warranty works. If that machine breaks and you tell me it breaks, and you bring it back here to my shop, I will put it back in my shop and I will fix it for nothing if it's under warranty. Now, if you broke a line and it got stuck on a tree, well, that's not a warranty item, but it's something we can absolutely help you with. Or, again, nice thing is, these are just standard DIN fittings. So you take this line off here, you unscrew it here, you take this into your hydraulic shop and you say, here, can you make me this? It's as simple as that. So, and a lot of your cylinders, if you have a good hydraulic shop, they should be able to cross most of these. So far, actually, most of them cross in a deer. So Zimmerman's Hydraulic Shop, Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, another good hydraulic shop, Mennonite Group. They've done some for us, and they've just crossed them into deer mostly. So, and again, to quality. And I'll be honest, this cylinder, not smart, but I'll be honest, this cylinder has sat here for probably 8 months. Again, we go through a ton of inventory, and some of them just fall through the cracks because we get lazy and we take from the closest, and then, you know, we get a couple here that fall through the cracks. So just looking at the serial numbers, this one fell through the cracks, well, these 4 did, and then those are all 25s or 26s and so on and so forth. But look at this cylinder that has guaranteed been exposed for probably close to 8 months, 6 months, whatever it's been. There's not a pit on this. Diana, come and look at this. There's not a pit on this. Nothing. There's not anything wrong with the seals. There's not anything wrong with the cylinder. So I've in my own brand over the years have had units that they have shored this on and use regular steel cold rolled. Once they sit out, they look terrible. And I've had a lot of AGTs that way. So if you guys are looking for a product that is affordable, we have it. If you're looking for somebody that you can come to and say, I need a hand, we have it. And if you guys are looking for the most basic, but you still want to put your hands on it, we have it. So there is, again, I know I got way off track, the Ripa R10s, $5,900 with all the options. And we got more guys coming in, and I appreciate everything, guys. We're gonna start posting more regularly again. It's been so busy around here. I just didn't have time. The fall finally come in. Things have slowed down a little bit. You can tell I got 3 layers on. I do not like the cold, but it's our best opportunity to get the information out again. So we're gonna do the best we can to try to get you guys as many videos as we can before it's sub-zero and I just become a sissy and go in the house. So we'll see you guys later. If you're interested, give us a call, 570-837-1003. Hackenberg Equipment, GroundHog Equipment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.